The Lorna M. Johnson Global Enterprises are rooted in equality and justice. We are committed to exploring innovative, non-traditional modalities and approaches to positively shift cultural norms relating to bias, hate, and disparities. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss the fierce urgency of this moment, a great moment for healing communication between friends and uniting us within race, culture, faith, media, and politics. We must be the change we seek. In the spirit of my hero and friend, the late great John Lewis, aka the soul of the nation, we have work to do towards that more perfect union and a better us. Get into good trouble, he would tell us, by following the compass of love for one another. Open our hearts and inspire the best in each of us, eliminating the virus of bigotry and confusion, responding to the call of our moral compass for a more perfect union. I ask each and every one of you to join me in uniting your world, my world, our world, by sharing your uniting ideas at Live with Lorna. The future is in your hands. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the globe. Welcome to the Lorna M. Johnson Global Enterprises Virtual Town Hall. You know what to do. Host a Facebook party, share with family and friends, and most importantly, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Happy New Year! We are all truly blessed to be able to see 2021. We close out 2020 in the United States with the largest number of hospitalization ever, more than 20 million COVID cases, and more than 340,000 deaths, and an economy that is on the brinks of collapsing. Millions of Americans are starting a new year without a job, and more than 8 million are falling into poverty throughout this pandemic. We were all in desperate need of something new, which is why we decided to share with you, our loyal viewers and supporters, the rollout of our new show, Live with Lorna. Live with Lorna will bring you timely subsequent news and information affecting our lives, including health, the economy, and issues impacting women. We are creating voices that have the unique ability to reach you no matter where you are around the world, and in an engaging way that we all can understand. Here at LMJ Global, we are committed to never losing sight of the many lives that have been lost due to the rapid spread of the ever-evolving COVID-19. We will then highlight the state of financial affairs in our country, and then head right into our fireside chat conversation with our featured speaker, Mariko Bennett of Coco B Production, who will focus on envisioning and intention setting in the new year, followed by Madame Beverly E. Smith, the 26th National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, who will share a little bit about the history of the sorority and how they played an integral role in the global empowerment of women and girls. What a year it's been. I heard somebody said the other day that 2021 should officially start January 2021, the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I wish. Despite having vaccine cases and deaths in the United States are steadily rising, joblessness, especially for women, is an all-time high. And not to mention the weakness of an insurrection happening right before our eyes. The stresses of racial and social injustice continue to run rampant throughout our country. Many businesses turn their lights off and close their doors for the last time. not to mention the hundreds and thousands of women and Americans stared heartbroken at empty chairs at the dinner table during the holidays. America, a country built on the foundation of hope and opportunity, liberty, and promise of equality, has quickly become a place of despair. We here at LMJ Global seek to spread a little joy, light, and laughter, which is why we decided to focus on our first show of the year with something to help us all set our priorities and our intentions. Join me in welcoming my first guest, envisioning and intention setting expert, Mariko Bennett, President and CEO of Coco B Productions. Mariko, Happy New Year. Welcome to Lorna Live. How are you?
Thank you so much. Happy New Year's to you as well.
Great. Thank you for being my first guest of the year. It's a real pleasure to have you. You know, 2020 was a very challenging year that doesn't seem to want to end. I understand that you have some secret sauce, maybe, that can help to navigate some of these challenges. So tell us a little bit about Coco B and your work as an envisioning and planning expert.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. It is a joy to be your first guest in the new year. And so I am welcoming 2021. I am extremely optimistic and I have big goals that I have set for myself. And so a little bit about Coco B, and I encourage everyone to do that. So let me pause there and say that, yes, 2020 definitely presented some challenges, but there were also some triumphs within there as well. So I don't want to lose sight of that. And as we move into 2021, we can also be very intentional about what we want to manifest in our lives. So just a little bit about Coco B Productions and what we do. We're a strategic consulting firm. We're based in Washington, D.C. We do enterprise fundraising. We do event innovation and production, strategic advertising. And what we're going to talk to you today about is our leadership coaching, training, and development arm of the business. And that is, again, goal setting and being very intentional about what you want to manifest in your life.
Awesome. I don't know about the folks at home, but I'm excited because I would like to know a little bit more about vision board. And also I'm interested in talking to you about why is it important and how should we be approaching this level of intention setting?
Okay, so I am a master manifester. And I have manifested all the things in my life and that I've won, if you will. So I literally had big dreams. I set big goals. I'm really intentional about creating action steps to reach those goals. And I'm also really big about if, in fact, I did not reach my goal in the year in which I intended to reach my goal, I ensure that it's at the very top of my list for the very next year. And so we do that through vision boarding, which I know we'll talk a little bit about, but I hope I answered that one question and then I'll go into more because I know you have more questions for me.
Yes,
so
you're doing great, doing great. How effective is this method though of visioning and intention setting? How effective is it? And how do you measure it?
Extremely effective. And so, as I mentioned, I'm a master manifester. So I'll talk a little bit about my personal experience, but I have some great stories of some of the amazing women who have come and attended my vision boarding sessions, are part of our coaching program and our goal setting and accountability programs. And so everything that I have from my at that point, boyfriend, to my engagement, to my wedding, to the homes that we built, all of that was on my vision board, like literally. And I have this one example of a woman by the name of Nakia, who came to one of my vision board events, and on her board, and it wasn't a very, I have some people come with these beautiful creative boards. Her board was very simple. It had a picture of a couple of kids, and it had a recycling image and a cross because she's Christ-centered. So everything is super important. She always goes back there. And she said, I'm going to open up a eco-friendly daycare center for kids where they're not going to have toxins in their food. And we're going to have a farming program, et cetera, et cetera. And today, not only does Nakia have one facility that's over 6,000 square feet, She has an eco-friendly, it's called Eco Tots. She's opening up her second facility in the state of Maryland. She got a loan from the governor, about $250,000 to open up this business. And all of that came from a vision and a vision board that she put at my event. And I come and bring her every year so she can share this story with people that, yes, you had an image and a picture and what you can turn that into if you are disciplined and serious about reaching those goals. It is very much possible.
Nice. You mentioned something about in the beginning of the year, and I'm wondering, it seemed like people tend to make vision boarding a priority in the beginning of the year. Clearly, there's a science to this. Can you speak to that? And why is it important to start off in that way? Is it too late to start? Is it, the beginning of the year, or do you start earlier or later? When do you start?
So let me tell you, I actually, yes, as you can do a vision board any part of the year. I do think that, in the beginning of the year, everybody's going to lose, 100 pounds and live their best life and all these other things, right? So we got these New Year resolutions. But to be honest with you, when we first got into COVID, I hosted a virtual vision board event because I thought, why not live our best lives while we have time at home? Let's be intentional. Let's goal set. And so that was, in Q2 of last year. I think we did it in April or May. And so I think you can vision board at any point of the year. In December and January, though, is where you really want to be intentional about that, this 12-month cycle that we're in. And then I do checkpoints along the way. So, every quarter you should be checking in. But you also should use your vision board as a tool. So if you decide to goal set in December or January, right, in February as well, you need to use it as a tool. Put your board in a place where you can see it every day. It's your accountability partner. You should walk in and it should almost be as obnoxious as that friend that calls you and says, hey, I thought you said you were going to do X. Hey, where is such and such coming? What are you going to do? I thought you said. That's what the vision board should actually do.
Talk to your vision board? Is that what you're telling me?
My vision board's talking to me all the time. That's why we're knocking things out. That's why I'm a master manifester, because I sit it right in front of me. So it's like, if I see it, I'm like, I got to get to these fitness goals. That's what's on my board this year.
I'm not the most, organized. Like, even if I'm traveling most of the time, I'm very spontaneous. I'm an Aquarius, I'm an Aquarius. Okay. I have a birthday coming up. And I know that I am not the most, I cannot plan long-term planning. I don't like long-term planning. Mm-hmm. I'm a spontaneous person. So how does the vision board work for someone like me? I get excited about something and I'll start it. And, the first week, and then I get bored. So how do you get me to focus and stay on this path of using my vision board?
And that's okay, because I'm a Sagittarius, so I completely understand it. Now, I get very excited about things. I'm super high energy, all of that. And so there's two things to that. I have been vision boarding for many, many years. And what I found, Lorna, are folks like you. They would come, they would be very excited. They had these beautiful boards. And then I would do a check-in with them in 3 months or 6 months or a year. And they're like, So I wrote a book because I said, they need help. They need more support. And in this book, what I do is I applied my corporate background of smart goal setting, right, and principles within, to being really intentional about it. So we have SMART goals. We're going to apply dates and timelines. We're going to talk about barriers. You're going to uncover whether or not you're a procrastinator, or or sometimes you're just burnt out, or maybe there's some other things going on in your life. And so I'm going to help you think those things through within this book. And it's going to hold you to your accountability guide. And so I knew that some folks needed more. Right. Some people like myself, I had my board, I set my goals, I wrote down my action steps, and I was very disciplined. But everyone's not that way. And so we want to make sure that we have support systems in place. Okay.
So for us newbies then, what are a couple of things we should consider as we prepare to develop our vision board? What do we need to get started?
Excellent question. So the first thing is, we have 7 life focus areas, right? So you have your health, you have wealth, career, family, friendship, etc. So I want you to look at your life focus areas. Okay. So what area in my life do I want to focus on? Don't try to do everything all at once. Let's focus on 2 life focus areas, no more than 3. Okay. And then I want you to set 3 to 5 goals. That's it. 3 to 5 goals. And then after you set your 3 to 5 goals, I want you to have action steps to reaching those goals. Okay. And I'm pretty sure if you do that, if we were having this conversation in 6 months, you would already have crossed off several things.
Wow. So is the board a pretty board, or is it a board I have to create my own vision board to make it more attractive, that I will want to talk to it and it will want to talk back to me? What?
I always tell people to hang your vision board, the place that you can see every day. So, but listen, I have had artists in my program. I've had engineers, doctors, lawyers, etc. So everyone's not going to create a pretty board. So it does not need to be a pretty board. I personally like all things pretty. However, I like embellishment. So if you were in person with me, I would have like hot glue guns, flowers, gemstones, you name it. I have everything. But in virtual world, we create virtual vision boards, and people use PowerPoint, Word, Excel, etc. And so it does not have to be pretty. It just has to be very intentional.
Right. Well, that is great. Really, this is very exciting for me. Could be a lot of fun, and I really would like for you to take me in your arms and really get me going with this vision board, because believe me, I need some of that.
Well, join me. I have a vision board event coming up on January the 24th.
There you go.
At 3:00 Eastern Standard. And so if folks want to learn more, I also issued a challenge. So prior to the vision board, just like you said, well, how do I, where do I begin? So we started a free challenge online, and I'm walking folks through the steps prior to putting together the vision board. So that way their board is intentional and they're actually reaching those goals. So hopefully folks can join me, and I look forward to seeing you, Lorna, as well.
Absolutely. Is there a charge to this, or do I get it free since we're now friends? Or how does it work? Is there? You want to share that with the folks. So I just want to give you the opportunity to share more about how do we get to you, and
Sure.
what is involved in getting started with you and Vision Board.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. So I am on, my handles online are at Coco B Production. So COCOB Production, no S, on Instagram. All of the information is there, and they can actually sign up and join the challenge right there, and also sign up for the vision boarding session. More to come as well, because as I mentioned, we have a book companion, which we're really excited about. So they can, once they sign on and start following you online, they can learn more about the book launch, the vision board sessions, and how to just be in touch with me.
Awesome. And we're going to put your information on our website so people can, sign up there. And like I said, maybe I'll get a discount. So.
Why, of course. Absolutely. I'd have it no other way. And actually, we offered a discount to everyone. So if someone takes the challenge, which is free, they get a discount on the vision board session.
Or maybe they could say live with Lorna sent me.
I would. And now if they say live with Lorna sent them, now they're going to get something extra. How about that?
There you go.
If they DM me and say that they saw me on Live with Lorna, I will give you a special gift. I'm big on gifts. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big gift giver, so they will be very pleased.
Thank you so much, Marika. This has been so much fun. I really hope that we can get together again and really follow through with this. And I couldn't think of any better person to start off with as the first guest of the new year. So thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
All right.
See you soon. Now we are excited to welcome the president of the largest Black women's organization in the country, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, President Beverly E. Smith.
How are you?
I am well, Madam President. How are you? So good to see you. Welcome and happy Founders Day.
Thank you. 108 years old.
Yes, I understand. 108 years of scholarship, sisterhood, service. Congratulations. That's
there
awesome.
You go. So they got you prepped, huh?
Hey, of course. For those of us who don't know much about the Greek life, though, tell us a little bit about sorority.
Specifically about Delta Sigma Theta. Well, I tell you, there are 9 Greek letter organizations. D9 is a popular term since Kamala Harris has shared that with the world these days lately. There are 4 Greek letter sororities: Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho, and Zeta Phi Beta. Delta Sigma Theta has been around since 1913, obviously. The real focus of the organization is truly on social action and public service, as is the same for all 4 of us. I think we're all really have the same goals and missions. We go about it slightly differently in terms of who we are. Our focuses tend to be a little bit different in terms of where we are, but particularly for Delta Sigma Theta, I will share that our first act as an organization was to participate in the suffragette march in March of 1913. We participated for white women to get the right to vote. We knew that we would not, but our goal really was to focus on women and the rights of women. We knew if we did that and really focused on equity for all, that Delta Sigma Theta would focus and eventually get ours as well. Our founders, there were 22 founders at Howard University, really focus, as I mentioned, on social action and community service. You know, when you look at our history, and I often say our history really follows the history of social action and leadership in this country. Mary Church Terrell, who was a major suffragist back in the day, really urged the members of Delta Sigma Theta as they newly formed to participate in that march. We marched in the collegiate section, not at the back, which was a first, and marched proudly with that organization to move forward for the suffragette rights.
I think somebody mentioned that you were asked to go to the back, and then you decided to choose a different section of the line, something like that.
Actually, we were not. And yeah, that's kind of a rumor that's out there. But when we worked with the suffragist movement to work on that, we demanded and insisted, along with Mary Church Terrell, that we march in our rightful place. And so we did, in fact, march in that collegiate section. And we're the only organized group of women to do so. There were other Black suffragists at the time. Delta Sigma Theta, actually, though, was the only Greek letter organization to march as a movement together. But, you know, there were 50,000 men cheering and jeering. That march actually turned into, famously, a riot. Delta Sigma Theta, and you think about those college students, how scared they must have been to be off campus. I'm sure they didn't warn their parents ahead of time like you would have to today. But they went out there and they marched to do the right thing, and they led us in terms of doing that. And it's something that we've done ever since. We have reenacted that march. We reenacted it on our 100th anniversary. We reenacted it on our 90th, marching down Pennsylvania Avenue. We march today. We go to, not right now, unfortunately, the nation's capital every year. We have Delta Days at the nation's capital and take about 1,500, 2,000 women in red, all to make sure that we still focus on equity and the rights that people should have, that everyone should have to do what they need to do.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
You know, I had a show recently, and I had 3 ladies on there, and they were all Delta Sigma Theta women.
Very good.
They were amazing. They were just amazing. I don't know if you're familiar, I think, with Jennifer Clybourne Reed. I had Sonia Lockett and Wiley, Maya Wiley,
yes,
who's running for mayor of New York. Yes.
Well, we actually have, we've had over the years about 17 mayors. We have about 6 or 7 mayors now. We have 7 women in Congress, and we're very proud of Marcia Fudge, who's a nominee for Secretary of HUD. We've actually had in the past, 3 women who have served on the cabinets. Patricia Roberts was a Secretary of HUD a long time ago, back in the era with Jimmy Carter. Alexis Herman was Secretary of Labor in the, in another administration that she served in. And then we have Marcia coming in. But we really have always tried to make sure we focus in the forefront. Our 7 congresswomen are doing a fantastic job for us. Obviously, we had others. We've had the first Black female Attorney General, Loretta Lynch. We've had Mary McLeod Bethune, who sat at the table and formed the United Nations, Dorothy Height. The list really goes on. The first woman, and not only Black female, but woman to run for president of the United States, Shirley Chisholm, is a Delta. The
Okay.
first woman to serve in the Senate, the Black woman to serve in the Senate. Carol Moseley Braun was a Delta. Barbara Jordan, the first Black woman to speak at the Democratic National Convention.
Wow, that is awesome. See, you're making my life so easy. That's awesome. And I'm just so thrilled to have you here on this show this evening.
Good to
We
be
both
here.
share a deep admiration, though, for empowerment of women and girls.
Yes.
And that's one of the things with the suffrage movement. You know, I started this this new Girls Tribe. So the idea of Girls Tribe stemmed from the need to ensure that young women, young girls from the underserved areas have the opportunity to see themselves in women who look like them.
Yes.
So thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for for the work that you're doing. You're a true example for us. Delta Sigma Theta has an extensive history also of centering the community through their programmatic thrust.
It does.
Political awareness and involvement, educational awareness, physical and mental health,
Right.
financial literacy, and international awareness and involvement. When I look at that, I think of myself. It sounds like me already. So I tell you right now, as a full disclaimer, I am not a member of Delta Sigma Theta, but I share in your commitment to see these pillars and our passion and the heart for our community. So I really appreciate that. So for those you've done a lot already in terms of explaining about the Sorority Incorporated. Right. So I hope that our guests really get the good gist of it. But I share this passion with you. And so tell me, though, for all these things that you're doing, how are you able to maintain the level that you will need to continue to inspire young women to be a part of your sorority?
That's really critical. And inspiring young Black women of color, to understand what they can do is really important. You said, Lorna, you can't be what you can't see. And I think it's important for our young women, Black women, to see us in different places, not only in the political arena, but in schools, in terms of literature and the arts, on the scene where they're educators and moving up in that area, in the corporate seats. We have members who are very high up in corporate structure as well. I think what the most important thing we can do is empower our communities and empower women to be who they are and to understand that they can do and achieve anything. We have programs. We have a program called Delta Gems for young women. We have a program called Betty Shabazz Academy. Betty Shabazz, Malcolm X's wife, is a Delta. And those programs really are geared towards girls in grade school, middle school, and high school to try and help them understand the skills that they need to focus on where they need to be, to make sure that they are empowered in what they do, teaching them coding, teaching them how to not be bullied in social media, teaching them skills that they need to have and to know how strong they are with what they're doing is critically important. We have programs for young men called Embody that does the same thing, but that focus on women, helping them understand who they are and how strong they can be. They see the wrong picture themselves sometimes in the media and on the news and in television shows. And I think for them to get out of that, they face discrimination every day. People look at them in stores and make bad assumptions about what they're doing in the store. You know what I mean? As a Black woman, there's always that stigma there that you try to follow. They need to understand to overcome that. Look at Kamala Harris in terms of what she's done, which is an outstanding role model for young women today, so they can look at the future well. My daughter and I have 3 granddaughters, and making sure that they get exposed to things, that they learn how to carry themselves, that they're proud of their appearance, that they're proud of their hair, that they're proud of their heritage. All of those things are most important and things that we try to do and focus on. Internationally, we try to do the same thing. We have 7 foreign missions. Right. You have to consider that all of us really are world citizens. And as citizens of the world, we have a responsibility to go beyond ourselves, making sure that people in communities feel empowered to do the things they need to do. They don't have to stand or have somebody else do their work. We need them to feel good about who they are and what they're doing.
That's awesome. A lot of people get in trouble because they want to feel belong to someplace.
Yes.
They need that sense of belonging. And I think it sounds like that's what you give, give them of belonging and feeling that you can do. You know, I too travel all over the world, and I have 30 girls that I sponsor in Malawi.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. As a matter of fact, it might may do a little bragging right. I was crowned Queen of Ghana, the 400 year of return, December 2019. So I share a lot of passion, and that's why I really believe that your mission is very similar to the things that I do. I serve the kids in the inner city of East LA. And of course, you see Girl Tribe that you're going to be meeting, Sadie, this evening, are some of the kids that I work with in the inner city that will, to make sure they have someone to inspire them. I came here to this country by myself, pretty much to the United States, and I didn't have a real role model. You see people, my mom was my role model. So even though I was not necessarily poor and in the underserved communities, I still didn't have a role model. And I think this is one of the things that I feel that Sadie will be bringing to the table this evening as she comes. But before she comes up, I would like to talk to you about what is uniquely with Black sororities maintain their significance among its members for life, which is different from non-Black sororities.
Yes.
Can you share what that's such a significant part of your founding?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. That's the most important to me, obviously, as president of this organization. It is easy for us to be seen as step shows or social action or social media or, you know, just being out there doing activities. Relevance is, I think, the only thing that's going to keep our organizations alive. We have to make sure that we know how to change and flex and to make sure we stay relevant to the needs of our communities. We can't do the same program forever. We can't focus in the same area forever. I think as we've seen this political scene happen, there are Greek letter organizations that have come together really to focus on social action, to look at the issues of the day. Where we are 501c7s and can't focus on and promote people, we certainly can promote issues. But if we, Delta in particular, stayed stuck in its place and did not look at itself on a regular basis to make sure we reinvented ourselves and reimagined what it was that we did, I think we would lose our relevancy very quickly. And I try to stress that with our chapters. We have 1,058 chapters, but I try and stress that all the time. You know, make sure you're looking at your community to understand what the community needs at the time. Don't be stuck in state in terms of what you're doing. Be willing to change to meet what your community looks for. And that's the same for the sorority.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Exactly 1 week from today, the country will welcome the vice president, the first vice president, who is not only HBCU graduate,
Absolutely.
but also, as you mentioned earlier, a member of Black Greek letter sorority.
Yes.
She's not a Delta, but she is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so what does that mean to you to see this woman, as you talked about,
Right.
see a woman, one of you, in this position as the next vice president of the United States?
Yeah,
and the narrative about Black women, Black institution, and leadership.
I think, you know, and you put all those together, and she's a perfect example of Black who's in the Greek life, an HBCU graduate, and in a field that is not necessarily open to women or women don't think about, although I think they will more in the future. It really does mean, for the long haul, an expansion of a view of who we are. And I think that's most important. Again, I think it's not only for the Black community, but for the larger majority of the community to understand the power in our voices, and that power can be expressed in the individuals that they see and work with every day. If we're going to be able to move up in the corporate ladder, if we're going to be able to move up in any kind of enterprise where it's leadership, they need to see Black women as leaders differently. This notion of the angry Black woman that you see portrayed so much is not real. And I think the reality shows that we have about Black women sometimes do us a disservice because they promote that image that isn't necessarily the image that we want them to see, or the image that's real, for that matter.
Right, but it's intentional, of course.
It is. It's out there, and it's up to us to make sure that the full perspective of who we are.
And I think you're on this precipice of change. Do you really feel that? I mean, I am really feeling it, that this is a time where we have to make that move. I think the power is truly ours now to seize. And I hope that I'm feeling it. I hope you are, and I hope the world is feeling it. And I hope we will really be able to move forward, because I'm truly, truly inspired, regardless of the darkness that is trying to overshadow our lives at this time. Again, your sorority is involved in work. Of course, you mentioned nationally and internationally.
Right.
You also shared with us some of the international work that and how your sorority is working to ensure continuous uplift of women and girls.
Absolutely.
You touched on that a little bit. Would you want to elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, Delta has been involved internationally for a very long time. We actually sponsor a hospital in Kenya. Think of Kenya. We have been, actually, I went there last year in 2019 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the hospital. Think a hospital for maternity and child care is there. We established a relationship with them in 1969 and have had that relationship ever since. We have the hospital that's in Kenya. We have a girls' boarding school, actually 2 of them that we sponsor. Vashti Village, named after Bishop Vashti Mackenzie Murphy, who was not only a Delta, but her grandmother was a founder of Delta Sigma Theta. That is a school for children who have been abandoned because their parents have AIDS. Some of these children, it's interesting because Bishop Mackenzie and I talked about this not too long ago. One little boy we met had been found by a trash can. You know, if anything's wrong with children in some of those countries, they abandon them. I got a chance to meet him and talk to him. He's a teenager now, and he told me how he wants to be president like Barack Obama. The chance to visit that school, and we have a whole village and several buildings there that are ours that we sponsor. There's a boys' school that we have in Africa. We supply water wells for that school. We have other missions that we look at in Kenya. So we have some in Kenya, but we also have some in South Africa. A school that actually trains teachers. It trains teachers to go back to their villages and train other teachers. So so that the population can really grow in education, in educational opportunity. So we're very proud of the work that we're doing there, and the missions, as I mentioned, we have 7. We also have a school in Haiti, an elementary school that's named after one of our past national presidents that we support and take care of their teachers. So very actively involved internationally.
That is just awesome, and ditto to all the wonderful things you're doing. I mean, I'm doing some of the same things, and I don't know, when you go there, the gratification that you feel when it's like none. I'm telling people, there's like none other. I mean, I appreciate that there are a lot of people that appreciate different work that you do, but these kids, it's almost like they're really special when you're working with them. They just make you feel so special because they're so appreciative, and it just makes your work feel so much more worthwhile.
It really is. And you know, it's such a humbling experience when you understand more that God has given you, and you realize and appreciate how much and how important it is for you to give that back.
And the little bit that you give to them is so much for them. Really. That's it. Wow. So thank you so much for that. And so as we talked about, as a part of this segment, we invite young girls from across the globe to submit questions to women of influence. And of course, you're one of our women of influence.
Oh, thank you.
So we have today 9-year-old Sadie Kirk from Los Angeles to join us here today. I think she has a question for you. So bring her on. Where is Sadie? There's Sadie. Hi, Sadie.
Hi.
Hi, Sadie. Welcome to Live with Lorna, your little cute self. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself and say hello to Madame President?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sadie. Hi, my name is Sadie. I'm 9 years old and I live in Los Angeles.
Beautiful.
It's nice to meet you, Sadie. I have a 9-year-old granddaughter myself.
There you go. Do you have a question, Sadie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of all the positions you had, such as being an entrepreneur, being CEO of Delta Sigma Theta, what are you most proud of, and what was your favorite position?
What am I most proud of?
Mm-hmm.
I think the work we do, the fact that we are able to come together and make such a difference in our local communities is something I'm very proud of. We made a huge difference in the elections that we just had. in terms of getting people to register to vote, voter protection. There were so many concerns about that. But I think one of the other things I'm proud of is what we do for little girls like you. We try to make sure they have great opportunities. We have a presidential youth academy where we select girls from all over the country to come in and they get the chance to have a laptop. We try to provide them training and experiences that they might not have. So when I look to see the impact we can have and what we can do for our women like you, that makes me most happy. I'm very proud of that.
Oh, that makes me happy too. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Did you have another question, or is that good?
Also, what was your favorite position?
My favorite position in the sorority?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. This one, I think probably this is the hardest one. I will tell you that. It is the hardest one, but it's also the most rewarding. I would not give up the experience I've had for the world because I feel like I've been able to make a difference. I think everybody, and you're going to want to too, Sadie, everybody wants to make a difference and they want to feel like they've been able to provide other people with opportunity and experiences. And this position has allowed me to do that. So anytime you're a leader, and I know you're going to be a leader, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
anytime you're a leader, the most important thing a leader can do is give of themselves to someone else and make somebody else stronger than they are. And I get the opportunity to try and make people grow beyond what I could ever do. And that's very important.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sadie. Thank you, President Smith. Sadie, you are our hope for the future.
Absolutely.
I know you're going to do very well.
Thank
you. Thank you. President Smith, thank you for pouring into future generations. Your words rang powerful for both Sadie and for many of us as well. Powerful.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Thank you. And actually, I want to say in regards to midwives, I must say I am also a nurse midwife and I have to and a nurse practitioner. And I just want to say to all the nurse midwives and practitioners out there, we got our freedom this year as of January 1st, 2021. The governor signed our freedom. We do not require doctor supervision anymore. So all the nurse midwives out there and nurse practitioners, we are now free to practice what we were taught and have the license to do that.
Congratulations.
So, go nurse midwives, go nurse practitioner. Well, ladies' time. It's the ladies' time. So thank you. Thank you so much, Madam President. It's truly, truly a pleasure to have you. And I have learned a lot. And I said, I think our path, really, there are a lot of alignments there that we're doing. And I wish you well. Continue to lead the charge. I know you have thousands and thousands of followers, and you just made my life so much easier, and you gave us so much information. So thank you so much. May God bless you and continue to do his work as we move on. Thank you so much.
You are so kind. We are sisters in this together, always.
Always. Thank you
so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
This is the segment of the show where I share my thoughts and feelings on current events affecting our lives, from health to the economy to the issues impacting women. Here are a few things I think you need to know. I, Lorna M. Johnson, a few weeks ago received the Moderna vaccine. Yes, I got the shot, the Moderna vaccine. And here are a few things that you need to know. I believe it is safe. The side effects were very minimal. Just at the injection site, you could feel a little something. I believe it is critical for our survival. And as many of us know, that SARS and coronavirus is not new. I know many of my friends are skeptic, but let me remind you that the coronavirus has been around for many years, just different strains, and they have been studied extensively. In 2004, we had SARS. And in 2012, we had MERS. They're all the same family, some more deadly than others. Scientists have been studying vaccine development for over decades with different types of diseases, and their experiences have guided them. So, with the urgency of the pandemic of COVID-19, government, private sector, with strong collaboration of scientists all over the globe, were able to come up with a vaccine that works. Their medical professionals were also skeptic, but found it prudent to trust the science at this time. It's okay to be skeptic, but it's not okay to be reckless. Our communities are disproportionately impacted, and so we must act in the best interest of all of us. Catch a special interview of me and a few COVID doctors on my next YouTube channel. Let's talk about the outcome of our Georgia Senate race. LMJ Global was proud to partner with Palmetto, Jennifer Clybourne Reed, and Majority Whip James Clybourne to support our ground organizing in Georgia. Because of our work, we have 2 new senators from Georgia, Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. Our work helped to reach 223,000 newly registered voters and folks who did not vote in the presidential election. As we sought to celebrate the Senate with a Georgia win, our country faced an attempted coup to overthrow our government. The world watched as violent insurrectionists violated the cornerstone of our democracy and threatened the lives of members of Congress, the sitting Vice President of the United States, and took the lives of the US Capitol Police, who were overwhelmed by the dangerous and violent mob. While many think this is new, I have news for you. Let's revisit 1873, the Colfax Massacre, when African Americans were killed by domestic terrorists like the KKK, reinforcing white supremacy, and to take away the rights of African Americans to vote. It's not new to want to overthrow government who wants to abolish slavery and grant equal rights to all. Here at LMJ Global, we continue to pray for our nation, the mental state of this current administration. We pray for the faith and safety of our incoming president, Joe Biden, and our incoming Vice President, Kamala Harris, who will be sworn in to office on January 20th, 2021. In celebration of our upcoming inauguration, join me for a special live with Lorna on Facebook Live. We're encouraging people to avoid traveling to the DC area and remain vigilant, even in your own state. Government intelligence agencies have been warning us about the clear and present danger of terrorism in this country. And my biggest fear is that people are not taking it seriously. But please take my advice. Believe them. Outside of insurrectionist and threat against our democracy, our financial markets are also facing perils. The US reports a loss of 140,000 jobs in December, sadly breaking the record of the most job loss since the Great Recession, and even more women being most affected. In closing, let me encourage all of us to keep the faith. Keep loving and sharing with your fellow men and women. I believe we are on the precipice of change. I see light at the end of the tunnel. Vaccines are here and coming to you soon. Protect yourself. You know what to do. Wear your mask properly, over your mouth and your nose, social distancing, and practice good hand washing techniques. Remember the saying, while there is life, there is hope. I believe it's true with all my heart that 2021 will move us forward. I will keep fighting and reckoning with our past and present to make a better future. I hope you will too. Your voice is your power. Use it. Well, there you have it. Thank you for joining Live with Lorna. We designed this show with you in mind. Tell us what you think. Send us your message on Facebook or via email to info@lmjglobal.com. For more information on how you can stay connected with us, follow us online at LMJGlobal or the hashtag #LiveWithLorna. Happy New Year. See you next time. Good evening.